no stopping us. Fly without boarding pass. Couldn't catch me, I be moving fast. Call me a shooting star. Let 'em know who you are. Flying up in a bar. Wish on a star. Time to show 'em who's in charge. Call me a shooting star. Didn't even get to cross. I said I'm moving too far. Get to glass. Looking at a shooting star. Got more than a couple of people going mad. I swear they're rooting hard. Tell them I'd be big in the game like she went and got them breast implants. I said I'm moving too fast. Didn't even get a glance. I'm ready to eat up track like I'm seated in a restaurant. If you had swag like mine, you know it's best to flaunt. We aren't hating because you want. Shining like it's neon. Rock like kings of Leon. Shooting stars across the galaxy. I stand out, so don't be mad at me. Infiltrate, I'm with my strategy. When I turn up, then I just have to leave. Shooting stars across the galaxy. I stand out, so don't be mad at me. Infiltrate, I'm with my strategy. When I turn up, then I just have to leave. Yeah, shooting. Yeah, shooting. Yeah, shooting. Yeah, shooting shots. Shooting stars. Didn't even get to cross. I said I'm moving too far. Get to glass.
All right, everyone, hang tight just a few more minutes. I just got done with all of the pimping out, putting on social media and everything. I just got to get my gloves, feet, and head on, and we are set to go. So if you want to go ahead and leave a comment in the YouTube chat, if you want to leave a comment on my curiouscat.me profile, links are in the description down below if you need to ask it anonymously, or you could always go ahead and hit it up on Twitter. But it was a little bit later than usual also because YouTube decided to be a punk and was like, oh, you're ready to stream? Well, it's not working right now. So I had to mess with settings. I had to mess with tabs to make sure everything would work. And it looks like everything's going good so far. Hopefully all the music that I play won't be hit with any sort of copyright strike because it is all of the music that I otherwise would use in my YouTube furry compilation videos or anything that I've used in the past. So hopefully it won't get hit But with that said, I've messed with the room. Everything should be set to go. If anything seems off, ping me in the YouTube chat, and then I can mess with it, and we'll get it done. But before I start with any sort of dancing, I do want to chill out for a second and chat with you guys, because I've just been in most of the suit. Again, not having the hands, feet, and head on, and I'm still kind of hot. But I've got the AC on, I've got water nearby, I shouldn't have any sort of overheating issues, but we otherwise should be set to go. So again, hang on tight just a few more minutes and we will have this all set to go. So I'm going to change the song to something else and we will be ready to go. So please leave a comment, leave a question on either of those links. Again, Twitter, Curious Cat, or in the chat, and I'll be happy to chat with you guys and to go ahead and answer your questions and entertain you. Oh my god! Alright. Let's see if I can still navigate this with any capacity. Jesus. Oh man. Hang on just a second. Oh man. So many screens, so many windows. Not enough mental capacity. Ah, wrong paw, wrong hand. All right. So I see some of the comments already. I see chaos gendered wolf noises. If I'm not going to be mistaken, that was actually probably from one of the transgendered fur groups that I'm in. And hello, named Kitten. I also see that Heather has returned. Hello! I see you have returned as well. I'm doing all right. I'm hot because I'm currently in a sofa. But yeah, you probably saw from the thumbnail picture, that actually is my fursuit. Did it myself. I'm actually going to be getting on camera right now in a second. I actually am just going to double check to make sure all windows are up, that I can actually see them in my very limited capacity fursuit head. I do see that there's one notification on there. That was a retweet. That is fine. And then checking the curiouscat.me. Nothing yet. Okay, cool. Ah! Luna! What'd I tell you about walking into my room without permission? Hey, everyone! This is me. I'm gonna shut the door. Stay. Actually, might need to mess with one slight tweak. Gonna move a window around because I could barely see the YouTube comment section on the screen where it's currently at, and that needs to change. Ooh! I could pop out the chat. Pop out chat. Oh-ho! That is new and different. I shall do that. That is 1,000 times better. You don't have the password, Luna, that is why. Oh, that's awesome. I did not know I could pop the chat out like that. Oh, that is amazing. And then that actually should be perfect. Awesome. But Heather, yes, I do see the comment in there. Thank you so much for the compliment that this is a cute suit. Can I zoom on that? Aw. It won't let me do the zooming. I'll do what I can to try to read the comments and still be in frame, so that you guys can actually see kind of the situation. So, for those of you that are actually right there, pretty much like just off where my paw is right here, by about another 3 feet actually, is, oh, well, that's right. Should help if I have the damn mic. So, about 3 feet off from where my paw is right here, that's actually my TV, where I've got your comments, I've got Curious Cat ME inbox, so I could see any comments that come through there. In front of that is my relatively small monitor, so that I can actually see any notifications from Twitter. And then I got the preview also, actually, so I could actually see what I'm doing and saying hello. So I've got a comment actually from, let's see here. I see Blaze is in there. I could be watching other content right now, but I wanted to watch this live. Love live streams. Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. So in the ticker information that I've got down below here, it's got some of my contact information. It's got, let's see, contact information, probably some of the most common asked questions that I've gotten there. I've also got one other small bit mentioned in there as well regarding, like, how come there hasn't been as much like live content, or not live content, but suiting content more specifically. So actually, let me do one thing real quick. That can go away. I'm going to hope that setting the mic there, stop it, setting the mic there will still pick it up. So I'm going to try to watch the audio levels. Oh, it's actually picking me up real well. Okay, cool. So the reason why I haven't been in Suit a lot lately is I've been dealing with a lot of personal stuff. I've been dealing with, for those of you who don't know, good friends know this, but I have no problems actually talking about this a little bit. I actually struggle with some mental illnesses. I'm obviously on medication. I'm fine. I'm seeing professionals. All that happy fun time stuff. But I was having to deal with some of that, and the desire and the want to actually like be in Suit just wasn't there. There was no passion. There was no drive. So I wasn't in Suit. I wasn't being out there like that. Also, on top of the COVID-19 stuff, I actually haven't been doing it because we haven't been having our bowling meets, and Motor City FurCon got postponed. So all of that was a thing that happened. So after being on the medication for a while, I've been struggling with that for, God, years at this point. I'm currently 27. I've been dealing with this since I've been like 12. I just haven't found the right professionals, haven't found the right medication. Finally got myself on something that actually really works, and after a while after that kicked in, the desire to actually get back into the Suit, the passion came back. I actually struggled actually at Midwest Fur Fest to actually go out there, to go to the convention, and now being on this proper medication setup, I don't really have that issue at all. I'm fine. The desire to be in Suit's back. The desire to do a lot of things is back, but I didn't want to stop the channel or stop putting content out because of that. So even though I didn't want to be in Suit, I still wanted to give you guys something. So I've been doing a lot of the gaming stuff, compilations, highlights, and it also has been helping me with the COVID lockdown stuff, because then I could actually go ahead and still have some sort of interaction with people. I tend to be a socially interactive individual, so not being able to go to the furry bowling meets and the con and everything really kind of ate me up inside, really brought me down. So being able to still do some of that really did help. So I'm back, I'm better. You know, I'll still be doing some of the gaming stuff because doing Fursuit stuff doesn't come across easily because I can't go outside. But I'm able to do this now. So I'm back, I'm in Suit, and you see me in the flesh. Let's see. Other comments I got here. Luna, dance for me. Well, that's going to be something that's going to be coming up very shortly. I want to catch up on any comments that might have come in. Nothing on Twitter, nothing on Curious Cat, and YouTube chat itself. Always cool to see a self-made Suit. Noah, thank you so much for joining. And yes, this is self-made. And I don't know if it's actually on, or if it was on the picture stream that was up earlier, but for those of you who don't know, yes, this is a self-made Suit. Did it myself. Took me the course of about a year. All of it was done by myself, and I will back up so you can actually see that. See the full thing. Strike a pose. Know plenty of people who struggle with some sort of mental illness. I myself have had mild autism, but have had breakdowns mentally here and there. But yes, Blaze, that's something that I wish more people in society in general would get down with more. Well, not get down with, but become more understanding. But I don't want to stay on the mental illness stuff too much. It's me in Suit to hang out with you guys and chat. But for those that are you just joining in, if you want to ask a question, leave a comment, or anything like that. Some of the most common asked questions I got regarding the Suit, how I became a furry. Some of those questions are actually down below in the ticker scroll down here. Otherwise, go onto my Twitter at sigmathewolf.com, or sigmathewolf, God, not .com, it's Twitter. Go on to Twitter. You could go onto the curiouscat.me link, That's actually in the description down below. You do not need a profile. Just go in there. You can ask a question anonymously, and you're set to go. Or you can actually just leave it into the YouTube chat itself, which should be over here, if I'm guessing correctly. But with that said, a lot of you actually might recognize some of the music that I've actually played. One of those songs actually I was playing earlier. It's no, that wasn't playing. It was Spectre by Alan Walker. I actually use that a lot, and I think it's either the intro or the outro of my videos. And that's a song that I like because it was actually one that I came across on accident on the MCS YouTube channel. I was like, this is actually really good, and it just stuck with me, and I loved it. I've danced to it before, and you know what? I think that actually might be a good one to start this off with. So let me get that going. I actually need to mute the microphone because otherwise the speakers right here will actually go ahead and pick that up through the mic that's right there. So hang on 1 second. I'm dead. I'll explain this in a second. Hang on. Now. Is that picking it up? Yeah, not surprised. Hang on. Woo! I'm not in shape. Oh man. I'm staying off camera. I'm taking the head off for a second. Don't do full songs like that again. Oh. Hang on 1 second, guys. Will work. My camelback is not working. Ah! Oh, that's why. Wait. Sweet water, oh my god. Oh man. Alright. 1 second, I gotta sweep in front of the camera again. Is this what happens when you get old? Ah. Oh man. Oh, sweet. This is what happens when you fursuit in a house. Let's try this again. Oh, man. Ah. I need a second to breathe. Ah. Woo. So, for those of you who are wondering, the static noise you're hearing at the back of the audio, I've got a fan that's on the other side of that door, blowing in air from the bathroom, which is kind of closed off, and I've got the AC blasting, so hopefully that cold air is finding its way into here. But, I'm going to catch up on some of the comments here. Nothing on Twitter, nothing on Curious Cat. I'm going to move the microphone. Okay, that seems to be working a lot better. Heather, I see your comment of nice curly tail. Thank you. Again, that is also a part of the Made It Myself crew. The materials itself was just under about $1,000, but about an hour or a year to get all that done. That was insane. Oh, Luna, thank you. Oh my God. My heart is melting. Love you, buddy. Luna, you've actually seen me. Obviously, you've seen me in person. You actually met me. I think we've talked about this before. Motor City FurCon 2017, I think. I was actually wearing the OO box head that's actually right over there. I had that, and then the OO What's This sign. I actually had that. I bought that at the Midwest
Midwest Fur Fest, I think, the year prior. Loved it. That was an amazing shot that we had. Don't ver hey, sweetheart. No idea what you're trying to say, Luna. Aw, thank you, Blaze. I'm trying not to die. So, yeah, I'm in my apartment. I've got just the AC running and the fan outside. But I'm dying right now. I need a second to breathe. I might do another like 30-second clips worth, like here and there, but I'm not doing like a full several minute dance in this. Oh, I've got so much more respect for suitors that do this. Oh my god. Blaze, I see your comment in there. Lots of chemical energy becoming kinetic energy before transferring to heat and sound energy in the dancing. Definitely heat energy. I see where that background is coming in that you mentioned in the comments before. Luna, no I am not, but that is because I am an idiot. I am not wearing the cold vest. Partly because I actually tightened up the seams on this back in like January. The cold vest should still fit, but I did not freeze that the night before, so it's still sitting in the freezer right now, which I put in there in 11:30 or something like that, like right before I started the stream, so it is nowhere close to being ready. Oh man, you're really going on the science stuff, Blaze. I agree. That's impressive. I see CGD Nemesis. I'm just going to go by Nemesis on that just for the sake of ease. I'm going to say hello. Hang on. I'm getting one of my paws on. Gotta breathe. But hello, Nem. I actually might adjust the camera a little bit so I can actually be more in frame. I set it up for when I'm dancing, but it does nothing for when I'm sitting and taking a break. So I'm gonna mess with that. Get over here. That's a lot better. Need to fix the face. It needs to be cute for the camera. Let's see. Nothing on Curious Cat, nothing on Twitter. And again, for those of you that are watching, first off, hello. But you can leave a comment and question actually on the YouTube chat. You can do it on Twitter, or you can do it on CuriousCat.me. The links are in the description down below. No, I don't want to overheat, Luna. But hi, Nam. I see you in there. The CGD is for the username purposes. Lots of people like using Nemesis. Yeah, I actually try to do like as easy as I can in terms of names. It makes it easier for me, makes it easier for you. Blaze saying that you took chemistry and societal issues for a full year. Last assignment I had in the course was done 2 weeks ago. Oh damn. Okay. I'm gonna assume that comment meant that you graduated or something. So congrats. If not, congrats on completing it. Oh god, Luna, why are you baiting the chat? Sorry, I'm still partially trying to breathe here. Luna says, I have the #1 question we all want to know. Why are you so cute? First off, no you. Trying to get there we go. God's nectar. Water. Oh my. Yeah. But yeah, why am I so cute? No you. And actually, just came to mind, I have had someone ask me on Twitter before, and it's just coming to mind now, asking like, oh, like I'd like to do art. You're like, do you have like a ref sheet or anything? The one digital ref sheet that I have right now is mostly correct. It's mostly correct except for the ears, because when I did that one, I did not have a black that would work. The markers that I had, the black was just dead. It was dry, so I couldn't use it. So I used the next closest thing I got, which was a dark blue. But that's the first the actual digital image I have. But I updated it not too long ago. Come here. Behave. Been sitting up here during all the interviews I've done in the past. But if you saw the suit, you obviously know what it is. But let's see if I can get the glare to behave. Hang on, no, feet behave. So much better with two hands. So yes, that is the art of me, done in 2016, I think. But yeah, that's the, I don't have a scan of this because I don't have a printer. Oh, hang it. Ah! Chair on carpet does not help. Oh. Hang on one second. I gotta take the head off. Oh. No! That was the camera. Or mic. Dang it. Stay. Behave. I told you to. Oh. Gloves make this hard. Come on. There we go. How does that look? Not terrible. And okay. That way I can cool off. That way I can shove Gatorade down my throat. Oh man, dancing was both a great idea and a mistake. That's what happens when you are not in shape as you used to be and you are in a warm environment. Oh. I shall see you when you return, Blaze. I see that you have to go eat lunch. Oh, and then saying you just got a new computer waiting for everything to download again. Yeah, I know that feeling. It is super, it's a long, arduous process to be sure. Oh man. But yes, for those that you are joining, I'm still here. I'm just, the head's off, overheating a bit. I'd rather not pass out on stream on you guys and still be here than be in absolute agony on camera like that. So this way I can cool off, I could get fluids in me, and I can still hang out with you guys. I see the comment for a room, not to be mistaken with a room like a hotel. So wait, you were talking earlier about wanting social interaction and mentioned the Fur Bowl meet. Are you specifically talking about the Southern Michigan Fur Bowl? Southern Michigan Fur Bowl, that's the main one. There's also the East Furry Meet. I think that's held out of like a Zap Zone or some other like small-time arcade. All of that had to get shut down because of the lockdown here in Michigan. Or I say lockdown loosely because of the COVID thing. Like you can still go out and about, but I mean not having a dedicated like, hey, like this is the dedicated day and location where we're all going to meet.
it kind of makes that really hard. So I'm just making do with what I can given that situation. But the lack of airflow was a bloody mistake. I'm trying as best as I can, guys. I got a fan in the other room. But for those of you joining again, Twitter or the curiouscat.me link that's down below. All that is actually completely feasible for getting a question out to me. Otherwise, go ahead and leave a comment in the chat. Anything furry related, I'm happy to ask so long as I am able to. There's some stuff that I can't ask or can't answer, but I'm not going to give any topics on that. Some of that is in regards to my old job. Some of that is in regards to stuff I've done for cons in the past, so I can't answer that. But otherwise, I'm happy to answer any questions. How I got into it, what earliest fursuit art that I've ever had or commissioned, people I could recommend. Happy to go ahead and ask those questions. So please, fire away. I am trying my best. I actually might bring that fan in here, but I'll have to tag the mic in and out so I can cool off a little bit faster. Gatorade, you beautiful son of a bitch. But for those, if you actually want to go back, I want to say it might have been the first like 10 minutes, or maybe at the 15-20 minute mark, is actually when I did a little bit of dancing on camera, and then I had to cut it short because I was losing breath really quick and getting really hot, which brings us to where I'm at right now. I am actually right now just sitting in my desk. I am giving my body a second to calm down and breathe and let my heart rate come down because I think it's running up there. Yeah, you know what? Hang on a second. I'll be right back. I'm going to mute the mic real fast. And on that, I wonder. I'm going to see if I can pause that. If I can then hold this up. And will that behave? We shall find out. Oh, boo, ads, go away. No thanks, go away. Hey, that's working. Yeah. So far. Yeah, so far it's working. So I've got another window up in incognito mode, so it shouldn't. So I'm not getting booted out of YouTube, the YouTube Studio, so I can still do live stream, but then have different music on for you guys. So I'm just gonna boost that a second. Oh, that's right. I gotta mute the mic. Hang on. Oh, the fan is so good. Hang on.
So much better. I've got my glorious fan here. It's super loud, so I'm only trying to use it sparingly, but oh, that makes things so much easier. Oh God, no. Yeah, Heather, I'm trying my best not to. Oh, that would have been such a smarter idea if I had the fan going while I was dancing, because the microphone, because the microphone already would have been off. All right. I'm not dancing again, but I do want to get on camera for you guys. I am doing much better now that I've sat for a minute or two. And you know, it's you and the camera. Nope, still pointed too low. Back up you go. Better. So much better. And actually, I wonder, one more. Yes, this is the cable I have for the microphone. Yay, extension cords. Come on. Behave. Aha. Stay. Dang it, Luna. I showed you my dance. Please respond. Why do you like this? Oh man, I'm not dancing again, but I am dying over here. God, Luna, why do you like this? Mike isn't picking up as well over there. Too far away. That should be better. Oh yeah, way better on the mic levels. Okay. Now I have visual context of what you were commenting about before, Luna. God! You're talking about this. I showed you my dance, please respond. Someone's gonna screen cap that and turn it into a meme, and I'm not gonna be mad. Oh. So, I feel like another proper question to follow up this on is, I think it's down below, but when I became a suitor, or when I became a furry, was 2008. Oddly enough, what got me into it was actually an old friend of mine. He's still a furry, I think. It turned out actually that person, I was completely on accident. The first badge that I had done was done by Ucidium, or Udicium? He was one of the guests that I interviewed live on at Motor City FurCon.
If you're on the road for all of us, Farmers is here.
It's unforgiving! I got the fan blowing on me a little bit. Oh! So, you know what? I can't trust it. This. So, my friend, who's middle school? High school, sophomore year of high school. He was my first contact into the furry fandom. I knew nothing about furries at the time. I had known him since kindergarten. And so we grew up a bit. We've grown apart since 2008. But he actually turned out, as I was researching one of the artists that actually commissioned one of my badges, Ucidium, the icon actually right here, right there. The icon right there was actually done by that artist. So I ended up researching him so that I could actually go ahead and interview him for my series that was at Motor City FurCon, and that was broadcast live. As I was researching him, I came across a persona that he had drew way early, super early on in that artist's career. And as I was researching, I'm like, I know that. I know that character. I know that persona. And as I looked through the description information, it turns out that that character was the persona, still the persona of the person that I knew back in '08 who introduced me to the furry fandom inadvertently. But when I say inadvertently, he actually introduced me to the comic Two Kinds, TWOKIND, done by Tom Fishbach, Markiplier's brother. And I read the comic and I was like, this is actually really good. I actually really like this. And that's kind of how I found furries. I found out the semi-professional term of like anthros. Went ahead and I did some research, found art, and that's kind of how I got into the furry family. So from there, actually, taking the mic with me. It's a lot easier. So from there, I actually went ahead and got more involved from there. Ended up finding out that I identified more as a wolf. That kind of came from my background and how I was raised, and kind of the hardships that I had when I was growing up. And so I technically became a furry in '08. But I didn't start getting active until 2016, which is my first con, Motor City Fur Con, which should have been in the ticker information down below. 2016 was the first con, 2017 was my second, and by then I had Sigma made. And then from there it's been Sigma. I've gone to every Motor City Fur Con since. I've gone to every MFF since. I might not make the next MFF because, quite frankly, it's way too big for me, but that's kind of how I became a furry. The design actually, not in a bad way. I was kind of pressured by my girlfriend at the time because she was actually getting some art commissioned by one of her friends for me. And she needed my reference art image stuff done so the artist could finish it. And I was being indecisive. I didn't know what I wanted to do. And eventually she kind of pressured me, to kind of help me, encouraged me, acted as a bit of inspiration to kind of come up with a design on my own accord. And that's how I got to the Sigma that you guys all know that's currently in front of you. So that's kind of how I got involved. That was my first suit. And then I think it was shortly after Motor City Fur Con, I actually did a volunteer bit down at one of the children's hospitals down here in Detroit. And one of the hospital staff there, that was kind of like my PR, HR representative when I was down there, said that of the attendance of the kids that I had there, they said was on par with what would normally be like a known NFL player, which absolutely floored me. And I still want to do that. I just haven't had the time. And now I got a Fursuit channel of 380 people, still slowly growing, but still growing. And I've got you beautiful people in the chat here. Oh, just missed it. Luna, don't worry. You'll be able to go back and screen cap that later. The bit that I had in front of the camera. Oh, man. I need to sit back down again. This is what happens when you get old. You overheat. Really easy. Oh, that's... I am still here. Have to do that again. Oh! Oh, man. This is either a mix of the environment situation or it's a combination of what has happened with COVID-19, not being as physically active as I once was. Woo! All right, hang on. Thank you, Arum. Saying I'm sure the subscriptions will keep rolling in, especially now during Corona when everyone's bored out of their minds at home. Literally just fell into the chair. For those of you who are wondering, I actually had to... Oh, no. Okay. I actually had to partially de-suit because I was actually kind of shaking a little bit in the suit. So I'm going to have the mic off for a hot second. I can't emphasize enough, I'm still reading your comments. I'm still hanging out with you guys, but I just need to deal with this overheating situation first. Oh man. Let's see how bad the... Oh yeah, that's bad. Let's see if I can position that differently. Oh. I'm trying to see how good or bad this gets. I've got the fan positioned actually underneath the desk, so I'm hoping that the audio level is not as bad, but it doesn't look like it. Oh, just that little bit of de-suiting and having the fan blow on my torso did wonders. Yeah, I actually want to circle back to one of the questions that I actually had posted in the ticker down below. But I haven't been doing as much like actual in-person fursuit content because I was dealing with some personal issues. I had mentioned it before that I was some mental illness stuff that I was struggling, but I'm doing much better now. I'm seeing professionals, all that other good stuff. Please do not worry about me. I am more than better now. But that passion was lost during that time, so there wasn't that passion to get into the suit. What kind of ventilation did you build in your suit? Just a mouth opening or more? So when I cool off a little bit more, I can actually answer that a little bit better. But I've got a fair amount, actually, to be completely, well, I say fair amount in comparison to other suits which might have 0. I have 2 cuts actually in boosting the audio a little bit more. Oh, that's way much better. So I actually have 2 slits cut into the suit. I actually have one in each armpit, and then I actually sewed the performance shirt stuff that you would see out of God, I'm trying to think not athletic, jersey material, from basketball or whatever. Very light, super breathable, so that should be able to help with some of the heat mitigation, because heat rises. I could just lift my arms, and then that should be able to help with some of the heat. And then actually, if there's a breeze, if I'm outside, I could just lift my arms, and the air can actually easily pass into and through the suit. The other heat mitigation that I have actually is in the head, and I've actually wanted to go ahead and change this up. The mouth opening is one. But the other one actually is in the head itself. The ears, where the ears meet the head, where actually if you're looking at the photo in front of you, there's where the white and the gray meet on the inside of the ear. That actually is open, but it is not as open as I would like. I could easily fit a hand through there, but it's not open enough to easily let air pass through and let heat disperse. But that is actually a modification I've wanted to make. And then I normally actually have, if you actually do research and you check out EZ Cool, the letter E, letter Z Cool, they actually have a cooling neck piece and a cooling vest that I normally wear underneath the suit. But if you were here for the full stream, I was an idiot and did not put that in the freezer the night before, so I didn't put it in until maybe 30 minutes before the stream happened, and I was not ready. So that's actually probably still sitting in the freezer right now, probably still cooling down. But those are the other 2 methods that I have of cooling down, being the cooling neck piece and the cooling vest. But with that said, I actually I modified the suit, I tightened it up so the body lines are a little bit tighter, which was fine. But my problem was that I don't know, because I haven't test run it yet, but I think the seams might be too tight that I actually can't wear the vest right now. Part of that was by design, because I wanted it to be a little bit more form-fitting, but at the same point, I was actually finding in the past, in comparison, that I actually got hotter in suit wearing those cooling packs, because once those cooling packs wore off, those things are plastic.
So effectively, those just acted as heat insulators, so where I couldn't breathe. Like, my skin couldn't breathe. So I was getting hot anyways. You know, I would be good in the short term, but long term, I was still screwed. So part of the design changes of tightening up the seams was because I was going to get super hot anyway, because the suit, just the cooling vest, just was an absolute mistake in the long run, because it would just trap all the heat. So I made those changes. I'm thinking it might still work, but that's what I'm anticipating to be the case in terms of in regard to the design of the suit, that I might actually still not be able to wear that cooling thing. Luna, answering your question, hey, when you coming back down? Eventually. We'll see how everything with the COVID lockdown goes, but I'm trying to do what I can to mitigate bills, mitigate electricity, mitigate any sort of financial hit, because having to pay for insurance out of pocket now, because I'm on unemployment, which is weird because this thing has gone full circle. I kind of started this YouTube channel when I was on unemployment a few years ago. That was from my old job. Got employed. I had a temp position for like 2 months where I was working like 8 hours a day, but I was up at like 4 and back home by like 5. And it was absolutely insane. And now here I am again, still running the channel, and now back on unemployment. Weird how those things kind of turn back around. Blaze, you back. Hello, welcome back. Arum says, I've heard about the ear holes method, but was kind of skeptic of cutting into the foam around the area because I didn't know how visible the holes would be after furring. Depending honestly on what fur you're using and how you're lining it, you won't be able to tell. So like what I would want to do is, I'm actually still wanting to modify Sigma more. I don't know, I would be doing it this summer, but with being on unemployment now, not having a regular source of income where I could do this, I actually want to get shorter fur. From what I understand, it would be breathable because I don't then have the metaphorical or the theoretical insulation because of all the fur fibers then that I already got. It's a shorter pile of fur, should hopefully bleed off heat more. But also it'll help show the contours more. Fine. Also, the fur is really freaking cute. Fellow friend and suit maker actually modified their suit to be like that, and after seeing it in this shorter fur, I absolutely fell in love. But with the shorter fur, what I want to do is, if you do it right, so the inner lining of the fur on the ears, actually, if you go down far enough, even if you did make the holes, like, I don't want to say like too big because it'll still be obvious. But if you made the holes big enough so that you could visibly like see, like, yes, there's a gap. Because right now, yes, there's a hole up there, but the fur is still overlapping enough that it's still effectively sealed off. So what I'd want to do is that with the shorter fur, like if I would be able to see like a 1/2-inch gap personally from the furred ear to the furred section of the head, if I could see like a 1/2-inch gap, then I would be happy, because you still wouldn't be able to see that at any sort of distance, and possibly up close if you were like still like looking for it. But it would still allow for some like a heat blow off in my case. But again, with being on unemployment, you know, I'm pretty much literally scraping by, if not still losing money from the rent to the medical bills and all that garbage. So I'm trying to do what I can, which actually brings me up to a different point. The furry mystery box stuff, I actually am still sitting on one back from like the winter, I think. It was the winter or spring. I'm still sitting on that box, so that actually might be a future upcoming live stream. But I've actually got another one coming in from Furry Mystery Box, which is their normal subscription, and then I had to cancel. Again, trying to mitigate bills, trying to mitigate all that stuff so that I can still keep my head above water. At least as best as I can during this situation. Yeah, that was a lot of different segues there. Luna! Oh, you gotta move mid-July? if things actually work well, I actually might be able to help you out there, but I got to see what the future holds. Luna asking why a wolf? That's gonna be a long explanation. Thank you, Brooklyn. So thank you for joining. So for those of you who might possibly just be joining, if you want to actually ask a question, go into the YouTube chat. If you want to ask anonymously, go into the curiouscat.me link. That's in the descriptions below. Or you can hit up my Twitter. Either of those will be, or any of those three will actually be more than enough to go ahead and get me in, to get your question out to me. But why a wolf? When I was younger, actually, my father was a huge influence to me, and actually as a kid, both he and I actually really loved like the artwork of like Native American culture, and I was just always kind of like drawn to wolves. I think part of that was like subconsciously when I was a kid. It was just like there's like the familial like pack aspect, you know, like having like a tight knit close group of friends, family, or whatever that you can kind of like identify with, you know, and kind of protect. But then there's also the aspect of, you know, there's like the common phrase of just like, oh, you're like, you know, like, oh, like the lone wolf type of thing. And that's, ooh, shit. Sorry, that was my phone going off. I do got to keep a mild eye to my phone and emails because I'm supposed to be getting a Amazon package in, and if I'm still in suit, that's going to be interesting. I'll still do it, but I got to keep an eye on that because I want to make sure no one poaches it. But yeah, sorry. Back to the question. Why a wolf? Native American background, father. There's the typical. There's like the stereotypical like, oh, like lone wolf, you know, thing that's involved with like, you know, with being like a wolf and everything. And as much as that is true in both instances, it gets interesting because, in terms of my background, in terms of how and why I got interested into it, was it's always interesting like to think about it like now. The quick backstory to it was, in about a 5-year time span, there was a lot of different like tragedies that hit the family. Let's see. Sister got a musculoskeletal disease. Then it was my brother had an autoimmune disease, and I had some of my mental illness stuff started to peak back then. Then my father had prostate cancer. Then my mom had a hip replacement, and during all that, my grandfather died, and I had to carry his casket. And my father lost his job, so there was all this burden that it went from me being the baby of the family. You know, I was the baby of the family, which is fine. But it went from like having like somewhat of a normal childhood to like at like 12 or 13, I had to grow up really, really freaking fast. Because it went from myself and the family like collectively like working together and having like income and stuff to my father then losing his job, so the income got like reduced by like 70%. We were down to like maybe bringing in like $20K a year at that point for a family of 5. Then there was, you know, carrying my grandfather's casket was a huge thing. So, and then when my sister got sick and brother got sick, they couldn't contribute to chores or anything. So then I had to go ahead and kind of take all that stuff up in terms of chores. And then I got into the automotive industry. So then it was chores and taking care of the house and taking care of the cars. And I was putting myself through high school and college, and I was paying rent at home after 18 because that was how my parents ran and operated, which is fine. I think it made me a better person, but all that stuff kind of like forced me to grow up really early, and I was dealing with harassment as a kid. So there became a very quick attachment to my identity to wolves, because it went from having, you know, like, it went from having a family and having like this close group of a close support group, to be a little bit more accurate, to being effectively like on my own and having to grow up really, really, really quick. So that all those changes, I think, really kind of helped solidify the identity and the hard attachment into being a wolf identity and persona. And that still kind of has held true, just through more stuff that has happened over the years now. Different stuff, but still over the years. So, long backstory and answer, but that is why I'm a wolf. A lot of early tragedy stuff that happened when I was a kid that kind of forced me to grow up when I was young, and kind of came to where I'm at now, where it's kind of solidified that. And I'm slowly starting to open up and being able to bring people into my inner circle where I can trust them with information that I can open up. It's taken a lot of time, but there's some people that are out there, some select people that I can go ahead and open that up to it. And there's degrees of getting into that circle. There's initial trust, and then there's deeper trust, and the floodgates open. Oh God, sorry, Luna. As I was going through all that, the YouTube went ahead and held your comment for review. So I'm just gonna show it right now. You say you're gonna do a dandelion video for your next YouTube video, and you're gonna mention and link our dandelion part in mine. So for those of you who don't know what she's talking about in the chat, I actually did interview Luna in the chat. There should be the playlist, interviews with Sigma. If it's not that, it's under Fursuiting. She was one of the first 5 people that I interviewed. I want to say that you might have been my 3rd or 4th. I don't know off the cuff. But that interview actually is up there, and we actually talked about this story. So if you want to know what that story is, go back, take a look at that. Take a look at that interview that I did with Luna. But that dandelion video is in there. Blaze Wolf, I see your comment in there. Brooklyn, I see your also comment in there saying, such a cute suit. Blaze Wolf, I spent 2 hours walking around where I live yesterday. I had breaks, one mostly waiting for lunch, and the other because mud got on my foot and I was dying. Was bleh after the last walk. Oh, yeah. Also, the spring subscription box, they started shipping out very, very recently. Okay, so then the one I've been sitting on is probably the winter one. But yeah, I've been sitting on that. It is literally, if I go back to the camera, where you will be seeing the OO box head on the left side, one of those furry mystery boxes that's above that is empty, and the other one, because there's 2 there, the other one is the actual Fursuit, that subscription box that I have not opened yet. So that actually might be next week's Fursuit Friday video, now that I'm doing much better and wanting and going to be in suit now more frequently. Thank you, Brooklyn. I see your comment in there saying sorry you went through all that. Yeah, that's probably the start of the growing up history, but there's more stuff that's happened since then. Heather asking, what music do you like? I'm having fun with that. I'm not harassing you or giving you garbage about that. What music do you like? I've always described my music taste as kind of being all over the board. I've described myself as if you wanted to see know the 2 things that I tolerate but don't really listen to that much. I tolerate country. And I say that in the respect of I don't really listen to any modern country. The only country artist, and it was the one that I actually grew up on, is actually Garth Brooks. My dad would blast that music in his 4-door Saturn LS. He was the reason why it broke down and died. He didn't do oil changes, which, PSA, do the maintenance on. Get the maintenance done on your cars. That's how it lasts longer. But he didn't do the maintenance wasn't done on the car. It ran on no oil, and the engine seized, so that's on him. But the music, I'll listen to Garth Brooks. That's really the only country artist I'll listen to. Eminem's the only rap artist I'll listen to. And that's mainly some of his hits, and that's it. Really, I don't get any enjoyment out of rap. But otherwise, it's the type of music that I've been playing on any of my channels or whatever. One, I mean, it is NCS. It's not copyrighted music or not copyrighted sounds, as the channel is described as. But the other one that I'll constantly listen to is like metal hard rock. Like if it's in the realm of like it's been on Guitar Hero, like I'll listen to it. But if we're gonna go more specific, like into bands, like some of the top ones was 3 Days Grace, Linkin Park, Disturbed. God, I'm trying to think. Disturbed, yeah, Linkin Park. Okay, now it's all starting to come back to me because I don't listen to that music as much. Like I will, but it's like in the moment, like it's on my mind. Breaking Benjamin, Disturbed, 3 Days Grace, Five Finger Death Punch, and I've heard a lot of people be like, "Oh, that's like death metal or like super heavy metal." I'm like, if you listen to some other stuff, like there's some like really like heavy like metal that puts Disturbed to shame. But like Disturbed, Five Finger Death Punch, that type of stuff, I've listened to that. Electronic music, those are like the two like biggest like genres of like metal, hard rock. Ooh, and Theory of a Dead Man. Metal, hard rock, and like electronic music. Those are like my three like big genres that I'll listen to. Oh, Gatorade, I love you. Not sponsored. It's just in a half-gallon container in front of me. Oh, Luna. I didn't. So that was the one with battery in it. Yeah. So if it's the one with battery in it, then that probably would have been like the last like 2 videos that I posted, because I think those were the last interviews that I did, and then the COVID lockdown happened, and then I dealt with my own personal issues too. Blaze, music. My music tastes are personally within mostly rock, punk, metal, but I'm open to other music except modern mainstream music. Love 80s pop even. Oh my god, you mentioned pop. I'm not huge into pop, but I'm not gonna lie. You will, if you ever were to catch me in person, I cannot confirm or deny that I would have my windows blown down and blasting in sync. Because I have zero shame sometimes I have zero shame. I don't know of any 80s pop songs. Really, it's like the earliest pop music I've ever listened to, I think, falls to like In Sync, and even then that wasn't 80s, that was like late 90s, 2000s. No. I see the latest comment, Blaze, of I also love extreme metal such as Death Slayer and Napalm Death. So we mentioned Slayer. I'm actually feeling a little bit better. I actually got a story regarding Slayer. I've never been to one of their concerts, technically. Back in like mid 2000s, there was I was in high school at the time, and my friends and I, like, we were like listening to Linkin Park and starting to like get into like metal heavy stuff, and there was a like live on demand type of thing where you could actually like go and watch a concert live in a movie theater. They just streamed it into the theater, which was completely cool. Absolutely loved it. Like they blasted the music, like people were into it. But I actually got a story regarding that. So I'd never seen Slayer in person, but kind of. But it was like a Metalocalypse tour or something like that. It was like Metallica, Slayer, and like 2 other like big metal bands that we went to go like quote unquote see in the theater. But I actually got a story for that. But I want to be in suit to kind of like illustrate and act it out a little bit. Yeah. Hey Luna, clarify in the chat for me. But I see it says I can't share the YouTube link. I'm going to assume you're referring to the video. The link that you're trying to post is to the interview of myself, you, and Battery. If it is, just comment in the chat, and then I see the comment that YouTube is holding for review, and then I can actually go ahead and show it. But if that's the case, let me know in the chat, and then I'll be able to go ahead and I can post that. Yes, it was Anthrax and Megadeth. Thank you, Blaze. It was those two. It was Anthrax, Megadeth, Metallica. No, please, ads, go away. It was Anthrax, Megadeth, Metallica, and Slayer. Like, it was those 4. They were doing like some like Metalocalypse tour type of thing. Oh, yes, Luna. So I will do a show Looks like it didn't copy the... No, it's not lag. YouTube actually has an automatic, like, hold for review thing. If it sees something that is possibly sketchy, it will automatically hold it for review, but it didn't copy the full link over. Yeah, it only got, like, the last bit. Dang it. But yeah, Luna, if you actually copy paste that whole URL and you throw it into the chat, I will go ahead and show it so that people can go ahead and do that. If not, Luna, copy paste that, send it to me directly on my, via PM, and then I'll be able to go ahead and I can add it into the links in the description down below, so people can go ahead and take a look at that. Actually feeling a little bit better. Let me get the top half of the suit back on, and then I'll actually go ahead and I will talk about that my experience. What was it, like a Metalocalypse thing? All right, Luna, I see you just shot me a message, so I can actually go ahead and, yep, that's the one. Copy link. There it is. So for those of you that want to, like, if you want to open up the link that's in the chat in a separate window, right-click it, just do open in a new tab. That is the interview that Luna is referring to in regards to the dandelion story that she's going to be using in a future video. So if you want to, thank you, Luna. So if you want to go ahead and get like a sneak peek of what Luna would be posting on there, that's what she's referring to. But as I'm getting the suit back on, I can actually then go ahead and tell that story of when I was at my when I was at the Metalocalypse theater experience, and by God was that freaking crazy. Thank you, Luna, love you too. I see you in the chat. Come on, behave. Tuck that back in. There we go. Okay, lesson learned. If you're going to dance, do it for like 30 seconds and be done. God, that was super rough. All right, let's move the chair out of the way. And I am back in the fur. Yay. No longer dying. That's what counts. Whew. Oh, so that's right. Since I'm in costume. Since I'm in suit, fursuit, making sure I'm not tripped over cables. So, get it back off for a second. So we were talking about fursuit, like design and everything earlier. So that is one of the cooling slits that I've got. So like if there's a cross breeze, I could just be like, praise the fan. And then I've got a method for some heat to vent off. I can let the cool breeze pass through the suit. So that's the other method. Obviously the mouth opening. And then in here, you can't see it because it's so tight, but I actually am scratching my head. There's a hole in there, in both ears actually. But it's still, the fur is overlapping enough where it doesn't actually like vent any heat off. So I need to modify that. So yes, the freaking Megadeth whatever story. I'm going to get back. So I'm going to set this down here. So that Megadeth story. I'm just double checking the audio levels to make sure that you guys can still hear me. And I'm actually going to move the mic over here, where it should be better. Yeah, that's a lot better. Okay, so the Megadeth story. So
my friends and I, we're over at a theater. We're gonna go see, it was Slayer, Anthrax, Metallica, and can't remember what it was. God, Anthrax, Megadeth, Metallica, and Slayer. Yes, those four. So those four go to the theater, pay for our tickets. We're there. We're sitting in our chairs. We're enjoying our time. We're watching it. We're like, yeah, like this is awesome. And I don't know why. Ever since I've seen this, I can't unsee it. But for whatever reason, Slayer fans are crazy. They're absolutely insane. So we're in the theater. We're enjoying it. Anthrax plays. Everyone's enjoying it. Everyone's screaming like, yeah, this is awesome. Turn the music up. No one's having an issue with it. Metallica comes on. We're still loving it. People are like cheering, like they're headbanging, you know, like standing like in the theater, like we're there. No problems with it. They go through the other three bands. Slayer comes on. A select portion of the theater, apparently, is Slayer fans. And Slayer fans are insane. They absolutely lose it. They're screaming, turn it up! Like, head banging. You know, the theater ushers hear it. You know, the theater staff, you know, like up like operating the films or whatever. They're just like, yeah, you know, we could turn it up for a little bit more. We're like, yeah, this is awesome. Then I'm like halfway into like the theater. It's like the theater seats, and I'm enjoying it. And all of a sudden, I just see, ooh, there goes a thing of, there goes like a whole like container of popcorn, and like a whole thing of soda. And it was live. It was like a live, like a DVR kind of a thing. So they paused it. They paused the video because it was like a DVR thing. Stopped it. Lights went up. Magic comes in. They're like, "Who threw it?" And we're all like, "We don't know." And like someone from the back goes, "Just like the dudes like ran off, or whatever." And they're like, "Well, all right. Well, if this happens again or whatever, it's like we're done." And they're like, "Whatever. You know, just put the music back on." Lights go down. Music comes on. Things start ramping up again, and then suddenly, an entire seat bottom gets hucked towards the front of the theater, landing on like the front stage area in front of like where the screen would be. An entire seat bottom, like someone like stood on it, like jumped on it, and they grabbed it and hucked it. They absolutely broke the bottom half of a seat and hurled it over everyone and like right in front of the screen. Immediately, lights went on, the footage cut out, and they're like, "We're done, everyone out." So they broke a freaking seat and threw it. They threw the bottom half of the seat. They did the same thing with like one of the armrests. They broke that off and threw it as well. Absolutely insane. Ever since then, every video that I've ever seen, or like anyone that I've ever talked to, has been some story of that capacity where like stuff's getting broken, vandalized. Slayer fans are insane. Absolutely insane. I will I say this with a smile on as I have the mask and you can't tell. Hopefully my voice is portraying this. I will never go to a concert where Slayer is playing because Slayer fans are insane. Absolutely nuts. I cannot. Yeah, Blaze, it was absolutely insane. Since we're talking about music, I've been to 2 concerts ever. I went to a Jars of Clay concert. I'm hoping this isn't too muffled for you guys. I went to a Jars of Clay concert, like a Christian rock band. That was when I was like 8. Then the other concert that I went to was the headliner was Theory of the Dead Man. And the two openers were Hailstorm. Yes, that Hailstorm, before they got huge. That Hailstorm. And then, what was it? Because I still love them today. Taking Dawn, just to make sure that it's clear. Taking Dawn, Taking, Dawn, Dawn. They're also like a hard rock band. absolutely amazing. I loved them. They were fantastic on set. And actually afterward, like after everything was done, like I went outside and I actually got to chat with them and I got a picture with them, but this was back in like, God, like 07, where like cameras were like still getting like the functions of taking a picture, and even so they were absolutely grainy as garbage. But I actually got to meet them, and I actually still have their physical copy of their CD with everyone who signed it. Like I still love that band. Walking over so I can see the chat. I see, might have to start just walking with this now so you guys can actually see me, so I'm not trying to like holler back. You guys saying, Slayer actually did a farewell tour. Thank God. Again, Slayer fans are insane. You guys have a passion. That's fine. I have a passion in fursuits. I have a passion in other stuff. But my God, property damage, still. Brooklyn, I see your comment in there saying I'm expressive in suit. I try. If it wasn't for the fact that I don't want that, I've said this before in the past and I'll continue saying it, that I want the character, I want me, word choice and like past, post tense type of stuff that's going to be very interesting here. But I want me, Sigma, to be the reason why you guys come here, not the person behind the suit, if that makes any sense. You know, I want the character to stand on its own two paws. I don't want it to be like my face that's, you know, it's like, oh, that's why I'm here. You know, I want the character to be why you guys show up. I want the character to be why you guys, you know, like coming to the channel. You like watching my content. You know, like that's why I keep my face out of everything that I can, because I want, again, Sigma, me, the costume, me as I am here before you, I want this to be the reason why you guys show up, not the face behind the suit. So that's why you'll that's why you will never see my face in any of my videos. You know, and even then, some of you that do end up meeting me, if you do catch me like at a con or at an event and you see me outside a suit, I ask that you don't take a photo of me when I'm not in suit. Like if you're like, let's take a selfie, like I don't want my face in I don't want my face in there. If I'm in suit or if I'm in partial suit, you know, with the head on, that's fine. Just not my physical face. That's all I ask. And I actually still kind of like semi-project, if you will, when I'm not in suit that it is me, because I've got some of the badges actually. I've got one on each of I got one on that corner and one on this corner right here. I've got some others. Oh, they're all on the lanyards back there. But I got my other badges out. You know, it's like you'll see them. You know, I have them on. I have them on the picture roll at the beginning of my videos, so you'll know what the hell those badges are. Like you can't miss them. So if you see me, please, when this lockdown stuff is over, like yes, say hi, please, by all means. I have no problems with that whatsoever. Just if you're gonna take a picture, please have me at least have the head on. That's all I ask. Oh, Luna, you know me outside a suit. You knew me. You know what? That actually begs a question. We need to have that conversation. Did you? This is like a chicken and the egg situation, because you met me before. Technically, I had the suit, but then you also met me in suit. But I don't think at the time you knew that both of those situations was the same person. So, I'm not sure how you want to classify that. Blaze saying I've been to 3 concerts, Fox and Peppers, one at For Reality, a TSO one. Oh, lucky. God, TSO is awesome. TSO, for those of you who don't know, Trans-Siberian Orchestra. Let's see. I'm going to put this down so I can see if I can actually do the meme. Just like, I'm like checking the camera just to make sure like I got my geometry correct or whatever. It's that, because it's that. It's it's the Emperor's New Groove, and you're like, perfect. TSO is absolutely fantastic. TSO is awesome. And Underground Extreme Metal Show. Don't know that one. Actually, to be honest. I wish I was as expressive in my suit, says Brooklyn. Honestly, I think part of the reason why I am expressive as much as I am in suit is because I learned to be physically expressive. Back up more so you guys can actually see me, but then I can't see the chat, so it's like I'm torn. Part of the reason why I'm actually so expressive in suit is because I when I was a kid and I was in middle school, I took some drama classes. I enjoyed it. I did a play or two when I was a kid, didn't get into them when I was in high school. I did soccer as a kid as well. I learned to be expressive through those drama courses and through that, and through all that experience. So, with that, I learned to kind of talk with my hands, to be expressive. I learned that at a young age. Then I found the furry fandom, and it just kind of rolled into the other one. One rolled into the other. I think part of that, and then watching a bunch of anime, really, that might have been the other thing for me, because everything in anime is try to think of the right words. It's really hyper expressive. It's really over the top, and with that, I love that being animated thing, which again translates into furries really well. And so I kind of adopted that by proxy. So a lot of different things kind of contributed to it. I'm trying to look at the chat here too. I wish I could blow up the text and make it bigger like I can with everything else. But YouTube won't let me make this bigger. Bye, Heather. Thanks for joining. It was nice having you here. I know this is going on semi-long. We're probably approaching hour 45, maybe 2 hours. But I'm also doing it because if anyone joins, then I'm still here. Is that correct, Luna? I saw your comment in there being the first time that we met was me in suit. I'm trying to remember if that's correct or not, because yes. I'm trying to remember, was the "oh whoa what's this" photo that we took before or after when you took the picture of me when you had your suit? You did it with that selfie stick. We still have that. I still have that photo somewhere, or we still have that photo. And I'm trying to remember. I want to say that the "oh whoa what's this" box photo is before the fursuit photo that we took. Same, I think it was same day, or I think it was either same day, definitely same convention. I can't remember which one of the two it was. I do want to extrapolate real quick on what Brooklyn said. Well, the real you is part of Sigma personality. Is part of Sigma personality-wise, but I know what you mean. Yeah, Sigma is just an extension of me, if you will. Okay. Blaze, I see your comment in there, clarifying the other concert that you were at, that it was not specified, but it was a small venue. And some out of town bands. Got to get a little bit closer so I can see. Brooklyn saying, once all this virus stuff is over, would enjoy hanging out once more once the bowling meets resume. If and when, right? That's if and when those things start back up. Luna clarifying, it was my first convention, and I know you was cool because of the suit. Found you in a Telegram chat group. We met up at the next Motor City FurCon, and you took me to your room for a drink. That's right. Forgot about that. We met in person. We just kind of hit it off from there. Complete fact. The last one I mentioned was, okay, catching up there. Sometimes when I do grindcore style screaming, sorry, you mentioned screamo music, and I got a fun, interesting mention there. I have some fun with my left hand. Phrasing. We got a picture of our suit together. Yeah, I still remember that photo, Luna. Hey, Cass. Hello, nice to hear you. How you feeling today? Earlier in the stream, I was nearly dying of a heat stroke. I decided to dance for about 3 minutes, and I had to cut it early. Or I was dancing for like 2 minutes. I had to cut the song short. Absolutely dying, like hard to breathe, absolutely overheating. Had to cut this. Well, I say cut the stream, as in like I had to change the view so I could take the heat off. I had to partially desuit so I could actually cool off, but I was still chatting and hanging out with you guys. But otherwise, right now that I've cooled down, now that I'm not heavily breathing, I'm doing a little bit better. I'm doing a little bit better. I might do a little bit more dancing. Depends on how bad I want to be a glutton for punishment. But we will see what happens. But I do want to say thank you for joining the stream. I appreciate it. Luna clarifying that was after. God, we have such a history together, Luna. Like it's been some time. Absolutely, it's been a long while for us. There was another story I wanted to talk about in here. I just can't remember it now. Why you like this? Grindcore style. Mentioning in there. So I think one of my earliest like introductions actually into like techno-ish type of music, actually. Sorry, my phone went off. If you didn't hear that, or if you weren't here earlier in the stream, I do got to keep an eye on my notifications because I'm supposed to be getting a package from Amazon. It was supposed to be delivered 2 days ago, didn't show up. Supposed to be delivered yesterday, didn't show up. They say it's supposed to be delivered today. I'm trying to watch for it, so hang tight. Nope. That is the wrong email. And no, we good. That's right, grindcore. So probably one of the earliest like exposures that I had to like cables go away. To like somewhat electronic-ish music. Andy Hunter actually did some music for the Matrix movies. I think it was like Matrix 2 mainly. That my friend knew about it. He then introduced me to it. So that's kind of like that was like my first exposure into electronic. And then I stumbled across nightcore music, which is effectively just like sped up, maybe a few tweaks to like the beat and the song and at a higher pitch. And then I got introduced to like electronic-ish from nightcore. And then I properly found, God, who does the songs like Dance on the Ground? Like, dance on the ground, jump, 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 moving all around. And now I can't go further because YouTube copyright stuff. Yeah, that song. And then I found like 1 or 2 songs from Bass Hunter. Then I found Daft Punk. Then I found just like a bunch of like random like electronic stuff. Swedish House Mafia was the other one. Like I started finding all the music from there. But that was kind of like my first exposure into like electronic-ish music. But I want to segue back from there because grindcore got into nightcore music. So you mentioned grindcore screaming. If you want to giggle, if you absolutely want to like lose your mind laughing, in my opinion at least, if you want to lose your mind laughing, do at a later point, or jot this down and check it out later. Do a YouTube search for, what is it? Let me see your hips swing. It's like a semi-explicit music. The song is originally done by a guy named Savage. If you search, let me see your hips swing, Screamo, I lose my mind every time I watch that. Every time I listen to that song, because everything, like, there's a good chunk of it where it's like it's screaming. But what you should do is you should listen to the original song first, then listen to the screamo version, and you'll appreciate it much better. Because like the other song where it's just kind of like it's like semi like objectifying someone or about it or whatever. It's like semi-rap music or whatever like that. When you put the screamo tone to it, it changes it immediately, and I absolutely lose my mind and I laugh my brains out when I listen to that song. If you want a good laugh, that's what you need to do. Yes. Thank you, Luna. Clarifying in the chat. The song that I was talking about before was Italio Brothers. God, I am old. I'm old. There's actually an animated like music video of like a bunch of like different video game characters playing DDR to that song. It's actually absolutely really cute and cool. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you need to go ahead and take a look at that. Kas, I found you when I was searching for Dance Rush videos. I'm glad that I joined now. Thank you. Oddly, actually not oddly enough, the Dance Rush videos have gotten more attention than any of my other content, which I'm not surprised. I'm not in suit in there. Dance Rush is starting to get a lot of traction because it's actually a really freaking good game. It really is. Some of the moves that I was doing earlier, for those of you that weren't watching, I want to say it might have been like the first 20 minutes of the show, I think. At a later point, if you want to go back and like kind of click through to find a way through it. I'm dancing for about 2 minutes of it, but some of the music that I was dancing in there was absolutely, not copyrighted, so I'd actually play it and YouTube won't lose their mind. But a lot of those moves I actually, prior to playing Dance Rush, did not know how to play it. Did not know, like, I knew like how to dance, but I didn't really like know how to shuffle dance like I was there. I'm gonna see. I'm moving the microphone over here so I could actually kind of like showcase some of this a little bit, so like my voice is projecting properly. But like before, I need to mess with the camera a smidge. Go down. Is that enough? Yes. All right. So like some of the stuff that I learned from Dance Rush, like the actual like shuffle like to the side, it's kind of, I'm hoping that I could actually like show it with my legs and paws properly. But I learned it from actually like watching some of the tutorials from that game. So what it is that like if you start like with your feet like square ahead, you lift one leg up and you turn your heel in from the other side. So it's 1, 2. So you're going from one foot going from straight to T-pose either with your heel in or your foot in. But either way, you're pretty much just shuffling your one leg in like that. Your other leg is constantly just going up and down. So you're going from 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, or 1, 2, 1, 2. So I learned the shuffle stuff actually from Dance Rush. And then some of the more advanced stuff I also learned from that game, from playing like easier songs that like where they start to introduce you into it. And then I just got to the point where I was playing level 10 songs like they were nothing. But one song that will still obliterate me in that game is Butterfly by Corske, or Corske, C-O-R-S-K. Like it's a remix version. But I've actually went ahead and I've actually like taught some of the people that have actually watched me over there at the arcade there. So like, well, how do you do like the shuffle stuff? There's like, I think this is called the T-step. But like the actual like shuffle where people see like people have asked me like, well, how do you do that? I'm like, I come from a mechanical background, so I like breaking things down mechanically, like physically. I like breaking them down. So you're effectively starting as like your feet separated like this. Then you go from spread to a single foot. You brace myself a bit. To a single foot with one on the ground. And then back to that split position, but your other foot's got to switch. So you're going from this to that, but you are putting an intermediate step of this. So you're going from 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And then you just repeat. I learned that from Dance Rush as well. Dang it, Tara. Sorry, I'm catching up in the chat. For those of you who don't know, he's seen in the chat as Green Raccoon, but he's actually known as Tara Coon. I actually interviewed him on my interview series. Like, he might have been my second, I believe, because I think it was, I did my buddy Ratchet, and that was just an audio cast. And then I think it was Tara, and then Dune, or it was Dune, then Tara, in terms of like upload. But I interviewed him, and he and I both do Dance Rush. He lives in Ohio, I think. But Tara, you're a perfectionist, you know. You're an absolute perfectionist. I will not ever do that, because I would rather enjoy the game than kill myself trying to be a perfectionist. Still props to you for doing that, but you won't see me do that. But Tara also does that. We've both done Dance Rush stuff in the past. We actually are both in a chat where we do that as well. But hi, Tara. Nice to see you join. Shuffling boy. Good Lord. For those of you who are wondering why I'm going back and forth, if I'm going to be back showing you some shuffle stuff, I've got the mic here, but all my comment stuff is over there so I can actually see what you guys are asking and commenting. So I'm periodically going over there to actually see. But real quick, actually, I want to go back to the shuffle dancing stuff. So the Running Man thing where I was going from like 1, 2, 1, 2. The other one that I actually learned also from Dance Rush, it took me a while to get. In Suit, it's kind of hard to display it. I think it's technically called, Tara, we had talked about this briefly, but I think it was technically called the SpongeBob, I believe. Where you're starting like semi-spread out like this, and you're going from like 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. You're effectively doing something like that. Or if I'm getting that right. I learned that actually from Dance Rush as well. That took me a while to actually learn, because I started originally just going like step on the note and slide, not actually doing like the actual dance move. There's one more, but I'm actually getting a little bit overheated because it's not cold enough over here in Michigan. At least I don't think it is. And I got the AC running. All right. So I need to sit back down. And depending, actually might take the video feed away for a second so I can take my mask off and get some Gatorade in my mouth, because I don't trust not spilling it on myself. Cables, go away. This is why you only suit in the winter. Now, what I'm trying to wrap my head around is, for Tara, I see your comment in there. SpongeBob, yeah, it's basically from. I'm trying to like wrap my head around like why it's technically classified as from SpongeBob. I don't think I've ever seen the clip where it's like referenced for that dance move. But I'd love to be able to see that clip so I know what it's referring to. Yeah, Tara, when this is over, we need to hang out
Photo shoot, dance comp, something. Like a small dance video. Hey Koss, I see your comment in there saying, I'm sad because I can't find Dance Rush in arcade rooms. My country is boring with this type of game. If you don't mind me asking, if you want to clarify, what country are you in? Not necessarily asking like specifically, like the specific state or province or wherever you're from, just specific country. Because from my understanding and from my memory regarding Dance Rush, initially when it was made, it's made by Konami. So if you're wondering why the game's so good at the dance aspect, it's the same company that did DDR. So there's your answer there. In regards to like locations and finding it, if my memory is correct, Dance Rush and Round One being the arcade that's over, the arcade that's in my state that I used to because before all this shutdown stuff happened, where I used to be able to go to and actually play the game. If I remember correctly, Dance Rush had a exclusive lease with Konami for the game for 2 years, and that's because Round One is a Japanese company. So Konami, I think it was either Chinese or Japanese, but that company having an exclusive lease with a fellow company in the same nationality, if you will, if we're trying to really break this down simply, I mean, it kind of makes sense. So, at least from my understanding, that arcade game was exclusively in Round One arcade facilities for the first 2 years, and then that lease expired. So when that lease expired, more locations are starting to starting to like get their hands on or attempt to get their hands on it. The arcade machine itself is like 12 grand or something like that. But that might be why you're not finding it, is because they had that company had an exclusive lease for that game for a while, and I think it only expired like last year, so you might start finding them out and about more. But that's from my understanding of the game and like the semantics of getting that game in locations in regards to the United States. At least that's what I know. Tara, I saw your comment there saying, I miss you so much. Dude, trust me, I miss you too. I'm actually just trying to go off of memory. I'm like, when was the last time that we saw each other? And I want to say, in full honesty, I want to say the last time we saw each other was when we did our interview. I don't think we've seen each other since. Otherwise, it would have been like Motor City FurCon this year if it wasn't for COVID-19. Koss, clarifying that you're in Poland. Wow, all the way over there. Hello from the United States. Over there to Poland. Maybe it's bad luck with finding it. Honestly, if I were to take a stab in the dark, at least from my knowledge, knowing that Round One has, or at least had the licensing to it, so I know they will actually likely have the game, I would just go ahead and just do a search engine query, whatever the equivalent might be over in Poland, whether it is Google or Yahoo, whatever. I would just check there and just search for Round One arcade and just see what pops up if there are any in Poland, and that would be my initial, like, if I'm going to take a guess or if I'm going to take like a road trip, I'm like, I want to see if I can find this game, I would see if there's one nearby that you can hit up, in all honesty. Yep, Konami owns Yu-Gi-Oh! As well. Blaze, I saw your comment in there. Fun fact, back in, oh god, 08, I think was the last year? 08, I think was the last year that I actually used to play Yu-Gi-Oh! I think that was like when they started hitting like the Yu-Gi-Oh! Like GX run of cards, and that's when I fell out because it was getting way too like convoluted. Like games were like taking like 2 turns at that point. Like it was obnoxious. Early Yu-Gi-Oh! I think was personally better, but obviously I don't play it now because that last time I played it was 08. Check it through. Game came out March 2018. Round 1 had brought them over. Technically, some people got some cabinets before that. In regards to Dance Rush. Yeah, I think they're honestly starting to become a little bit more available. Oh, Jesus, that's it, Tara? There's only 4 round 1s in America? Which you're either talking about in total or you're talking about they're currently open right now because of the COVID thing. Either way, regardless as to whether the answer to that question, whether it is nationwide or if it is, if it's nationwide or if it's because of the COVID thing, either way, that sucks. Like, that's rough, because I know one's here in Michigan, there's one in Ohio, and I know there's one in Indiana because Luna was in the chat earlier, and she had talked to me previously, like last year or something like that, when I had her over for our first interview, and I showed her Dance Rush Stardom, and she loved it. She wanted to play the game more because she loved it. She loved the arcade and everything about it, and then Indiana got one. So I know those are 3 right there. Oh, jeez. Hi, Luna. I wasn't sure if you were still here because you were quiet, but then again, Tara's been very vocal. Not bashing, just he's been vocal. So the chat's been moving. Okay, so it's next year you're getting it. So that's not one of the 4. Yeah, I'm not surprised, Luna, that it got delayed. Ah, man. Actually might have to go downstairs and get more Gatorade. Ah, yeah. So for those that might not know, Luna actually does art. I have no problem pimping her out because she actually does amazing work. Let me see. Image slideshow. This is going to be a little bit slow. But I actually have stickers on Telegram from Luna. Commissioned her to do some of those pieces, and let's see, image files. I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna get a slideshow going up real fast that shows some of Luna's work. Oh, had to breathe there for a second. Absolutely, I love her cartoonish style. I don't know what your current rates are, but if anything, reach out to her directly. But here we go. And let me hide that. And let me hide. Where's the other one? Oh, you know what? That might be why. Yeah. So the art that I have here on the right, in the bottom right-hand corner, this is all of Luna's art that I've had her do of my character. No! Those are so old! They're like, what, a year? Granted, yes, I'll admit, you 100% have improved. I mean, you've acknowledged it on your Twitter, but you've gone ahead and you did these, and I liked it. Hey, I am not Smalls. I am a 6'2" large Theo, because I'm non-binary? Because it wouldn't be boyo. Ah! See? Fight me, Luna. Koss agrees. Your work is cute. And honestly, Koss, she's gotten better since then. These are like last year. You can go ahead directly message her at I think it's Luna the Cute on Twitter. If anything, honestly, Luna, if you want to go ahead and put it in the chat here, go ahead. A year old? Time to wipe the first off? I don't get it. I don't get that one, Tara. I might be slow right now. And Arna, I think that's the first time I've seen you comment in the chat for this stream, so thank you for joining. Oh God, shut up, Tara. Now I got it. Let's see. I'm going to see if I can do this real fast. And for those of you who are joining in, if you are if you're not able to chat on the YouTube chat box and you still want to get a question to me, or if you're not able to stay here too much longer, ask any questions that you want on the curiouscat.me link that's in the descriptions down below. You can ask anonymously. You do not need a profile, and I will happily look over those questions and answer them there. If you're catching this live stream after it's already aired and you want to get your questions in on the next one, same thing. What would be better though is if you were to just ask it on curiouscat.me, and then I'll happily go ahead and I'll answer it then on the next live stream. But in terms of Luna's stuff, I can and should, not that one, this one. Let me do the search. There it is. That is a copy. You are correct, Luna. This is Sigma Stream, not Luna Time. But that at that I just put in the chat there, at Luna_the_cute, that is her Twitter. And either correct me if I'm wrong. Otherwise, I believe this is. Otherwise, I do believe this is correct. Going off of memory, you've mentioned before in the past that I think if they wanted to commission you, actually, I found it right here. I've left the rest of unnecessary Telegram groups I was in because they were a distraction. I didn't talk on any of them anyways, but I still use Telegram as a main way to communicate. So if you need to get a hold of me, please use at Luna_the_cute. But the at that I have in the chat is her Twitter. Their Telegram will work as well, but if you guys don't know what Telegram is, Twitter should completely work. Yes, I know you know where I live, Luna. I know where you live. I know you know where I live, Luna, but quite honestly, yes, you've improved. I have no problems going ahead and pimping you out here because you do good art, you have a great style, and I have no problems pimping you out. Actually, in the early days of the channel, that's still something that I do, that if I've ever had, anytime that I've commissioned work from someone, I've showcased it here on the platform so I can, maybe hopefully like be as a reference point for people in the future if they come across this or come across the channel of like, hey, like these are people that have done work for me in the past, and this is their work of Sigma, and hey, go ahead and support them. So go ahead and give them some love, commission them, whatever. I've loved all the badges that I've gotten in the past, and I've no problems going ahead and pimping out artists. So Luna, you are an artist. Granted, yes, I know you personally, you are a friend, but I've technically had art commissioned from you. So this is my pimping of you as an artist on my live stream. So fight me. Oh, Gatorade, I love you. So we're gonna get that off, and it's not that. I think it's that. Yeah. I was making sure I was getting the right slideshow back up there. Oh. You should stream that fight. Oh God. I had to think for a second. I'm like, fight? What fight? And I'm like, oh right, that's right. I said, Luna, fight me. I will say, oh God, I don't know. No, I don't have something easily accessible. Luna, keep an eye out on your Twitter for the next couple of days. There's the game I've been playing recently has something in it that every time I come across it, it makes me think of you. You might not appreciate why it makes me think of you, but I'm gonna make that a surprise. I should be able to get a screenshot of it and actually post it on Twitter before my next live stream. Well, actually, let's be a little bit more specific here. Before my gaming live stream, which for those of you who are in the chat that want to know what I'm referring to here. So if you didn't see it, it is in the, well, it was because I don't have the, sorry, had to breathe. It's not in the image information right now. But in the ticker scroll information in one of the other screens that I had, it mentioned that there was something that was going on that I'd explain later, which for those of you who have been in this chat or that have been to the stream for the most part, you know this. Those of you who are either just joining in or have never come across me before, one, hi, thanks for joining. Two, I've been doing a lot of, if you look on the channel, like in the last like few days, it was like, okay, like there's like a lot of, there was like fur stuff, there was like compilation videos, there was convention stuff, there's other like fursuit content, and then it all suddenly just went to gaming. The TLDR to that, the TLDR answer to that situation was personal mental health stuff that I had to handle. I'm doing much better. No need to worry. Seeing professionals on medication. Doing good. But the other reason why is because I had the channel. I didn't want to have a situation where I was not having content put out. Despite the fact that I was not wearing the suit, I still wanted to be able to give you guys something, you know, even if it was like hitting like a small subsection of my audience. I still needed and wanted to put something out there, because otherwise it would have just been quiet from like January until now. So like for 5 months there would have been nothing, because then the COVID-19 stuff happened, and then we couldn't go out, and then I got on unemployment because of all the layoffs and everything. So because of that, I still wanted to give you guys something, and because of my own personal issues, I just didn't have the drive, passion, anything really, to want to be in suit. I was in a really weird mental space where even before these last like 5 months, like I was like struggling like to have any desire or like excitement to go to Midwest Fur Fest, like as weird as that sounds. So now that I've gotten better, you know, I actually wanted to be in suit. Like I want to do this. I want to be back in suit again. I might have needed a break. I have no idea. So now that I'm doing much better, I'm going to be in suit more. I'll be actually doing some more in suit live streams with you guys. But every Friday I do a gaming live stream with one of my buddies that I've met since being in lockdown here in Michigan. His name's Time Twister. He's over in Arizona. So time wise, like I start at like 9 and he's starting at like 5. But we play like a horror thriller game. And we've been chipping away at it like every week. Like me, him, and like 2 other people will go ahead and we'll play the game. We'll usually give it 1 or 2 tries, depending on how long the missions are. Because sometimes those things go for like 1 shot at a mission will take like an hour or 2, depending. And, you know, we'll take a shot at that, and then afterwards we might, you know, like jump over into some other game. But that is something that, you know, that I do on a weekly basis, because I mean, if I can't go out in suit and interact with people publicly, then, you know, I got to do something. So gaming is kind of where I fell back on. And it's oddly enough, that's kind of how I like started this channel. It was like me gaming in suit. That was back with PUBG. So it's kind of weirdly enough gone like full circle. But I do that on a weekly basis because otherwise I don't have much else going on. So I've been playing a lot of games lately, but you should be starting to see some more stuff fursuit related. Damn it, Tara. I'm just gonna leave that. I'm just gonna leave my comment there on that. You know what you did. So yeah, tonight at 9 o'clock over here. So in 2, 3, 4, 5. God, it's 2:30 over here. So 2:30, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So like 6 hours. 6 or 7 hours. I'll be doing like a horror game. The game itself is GTFO. I do limit that to 18 and up on the channel, just because there's typically a lot of swearing that gets thrown, a lot of expletives. We start kind of bashing each other in various forms where it might not exactly be completely PC or safe for work. So I do flag it as 18 and up, but it's something that myself and the guys who play, we harp on each other. We mostly fail at the game, but it's a hardcore game. But hopefully you guys will join me there. But what I do want to do is next Friday, for those of you that are just joining, I actually have the winter 2019, the winter 2019 furry mystery box content. I got it but never opened it, so that'll actually be next Friday. I will probably do it around the same time, around noon, over here in the U.S. So if you're trying to do the math in terms of like, hey, like, where was I, or like, you know, like, what's my time zone? Like, 12 o'clock over here was 2.5 hours ago. So you can do the math on your end in terms of like where it would be. Otherwise, do a Google search. That'll always help you. So that is going to be what I'm going to be doing next Friday. Cool off a little bit, but before I get back on camera, I am out of Gatorade/water. So hang on tight 1 second. I will be right back. Before I do that, though, I will do... You know what? I'll do this. I'm just going to edit the information on the chat real quick. And now you guys kind of get to see this, see this real time, because that is so much easier for me to do. Than what I would normally be doing this. And also I have gloves on, so that makes it hard. Yeah, I can't type normally because I have gloves on, so like from a touch tactile aspect, everything is off. So I will be right back. But yes, go ahead and while I'm gone getting the refill on the Gatorade and water over here, feel free to leave a comment. And again, that would either be Curious Cat, that'll be Twitter, that'll be the YouTube chat. YouTube chat is going to be easiest because I've got that up in front of me immediately right now. But if you want to ask a question or leave a comment, that is how you do it. How do you type with gloves? The index finger and thumb are exposed. I put little slits on them, not like fingerless gloves, but I just put a small slit in there so I can actually have them exposed, so I could like use my phone. But that's how I'm doing it. I have some sort of tactile sense on the keyboard with at least those fingers, so I can actually type. It's hard, believe me. He's typing with his mind, not quite. Oh God, Tara, I know what you're referring to. It's a what's in the box? Yeah, I have that meme. I've actually done that before. In one of my videos, I actually used that meme. But yeah, it was a winter theme. I've not opened it, so I don't know what's in it at all. So you guys will be experiencing that with me at the same time. So I will be right back. I'm gonna get that water refill. While I'm at it, I might check outside to see if my package arrived. Oh-ho! Going upstairs is so hard in paws, especially with paws that are like mine, freaking absolute units. Anyone who's seen my suit in person knows how big these freaking things are. Oh my god, I walked all the way up here and didn't bring my Gatorade. Dang it! All right, I see Luna is giving me some questions in the chat. I'm going to go down the line here. First off, yes, typing with claws is a pain. Arna, absolutely a pain. Fun fact, I actually did try to modify Sigma's paws when I was initially trying to design him so that, so you know like the stylus pens? Like the ones like the rubber tips, not like the ones where like where you actually have to physically like press on them like the hard stylus, but like the soft tip ones. I actually tried to take one of the claws. I got an extra one to demo this out. I actually tried to drill the tip out, so I could actually put like one of the soft tip stylus things in there, so I could actually technically use my claw while in suit and not ever have to take a hand out. It didn't work, because I found out that it does require a small electrical charge still, because that's how your phones operate anyway. If you ever take a like electrical diagnostic tool, you can actually put them across your fingers, and you'll actually see that it reads a few like millivolts. It's a very tiny voltage amount, and that's just standard for humans. And that is what your phone is picking up when you touch it. So if you don't, on those stylus pens, they put a coating on the pens themselves so that it reaches the rubber tip. That rubber tip still actually has like has a filament in there that would actually then allow for the, that small bit of electric current that you have naturally to actually reach the tip of the pen, and therefore it works. So when you isolate that tip, when you put it in the claw, which is resin, which is not conductive, it won't work. So that process didn't work. It was something that I was like demo testing while I was trying to initially make Sigma. It didn't work. It was a great idea, but it just didn't work. Did not work out as well as I wanted it to. Catching up in the chat. Who is your biggest fan? Honestly, I'm gonna have to leave that one to you guys. I don't even know who that is. Who do you fan over the most? Honestly, the answer to that one, Telephone the Angel Dragon. Fun fact for those of you who are either just joining or even if you've been here for a while, you know the story. I actually got to meet Telephone out of suit, and I got to wear Telephone's head as well. That was absolutely like dream come true. Like I actually got to chat with Telephone for like an hour or so. We caught up. This was actually shortly after the Lisa Ling episode about furries went live, so I kind of talked to her about that. Thanked her for putting her 2 cents in and kind of being out there as part of the fandom as well. But yeah, I got to talk to her. I got to wear Telephone's head, and that was absolutely insane. That was so surreal. I was lucky enough that I was actually able to catch all of it on footage. My friend actually introduced me to her. Didn't know that they knew Telephone, and I got to go ahead and get to meet a very tiny low key meet and greet and everything. They're fucking fantastic. But that is fun story that I have from the past of what I actually ended up doing. you know, I actually got to, that's like the one person like that I've like fan over the most. But even then, I try to like keep that in check because it's not like, like fans. Like, it's one of those things where it's like, I think it's less about like fanning over as opposed to like, I highly respect, you know, the costume. I highly respect the performer. I highly respect them and everything that they've done. That is probably the biggest like quote unquote like fan thing that I've ever done and it was with Telephone for sure. Favorite year / con from Luna. That's gonna be interesting because I'm trying to think back on all of the get back here. I'm trying to think back on all the cons that I've done, and specifically cons because of the question that you had phrased there.
Oh, water is great. More specifically, Gatorade. Hang tight. Bear with me for a second. You can find the mouse. And bam. I'm back. I'm not going to sit this time. All right. I'm going to adjust. I say adjust as in I'm just going to move the mic. I'm going to adjust the camera. Much better. So I'm looking at the chat. Gives me something to hold. Favorite year / con? Good question. Falling back to that. So 2016. I'm gonna go through the cons and I'll at least list off like the memorable moments from those cons. 2016 was my first con. 2016 was my first con. That was Motor City FurCon. That one, probably my favorite moment from that one was I actually got to meet and kind of befriend Tyson Scaleback. He actually was a guest of honor at GLFC, Great Lakes FurCon. I think it was 2015, maybe? I don't remember. It's actually on the Fur Wikipedia. I actually got to befriend him and Tina, or actually more specifically, Mrs. V. They're now married. Actually also got to see Tara for the first time in dancing, which I think I saw that's like one of your later questions of best like dance or performance that I saw. It was Tara or whoever my first one was that I loved. It was Tara. I'll explain that in a second. And then actually at Motor City FurCon 2016, I also got to meet Raz Prusek, R-A-Z-Z P-R-U-S-A-K. Raz was probably one of like my first like fur crushes, if you want to call him that. Absolutely adorable suit. Absolutely love him. You can probably Google him and find him. His suit was professionally done by someone, but he's a red, black, and white, like husky, like guard dog canine. He's always got like a canine like SWAT vest on, and he goes around in Heelys. It's the best. I love it. Just you see this like furry going around, and then all of a sudden he just starts like scooting down the streets, you know, on Heelys. It's the best. Absolutely love it. But that was 2016. I didn't do Midwest Fur Fest that year. 2017 was Motor City FurCon. Best memory from that easily was with you, Luna, when I had the OWA box head, and I was like, absolutely favorite moment from that. As well as I got to debut Sigma, and I got, actually that same year, some random person was just like, I love your suit, you know, like, I want to draw you. I'm like, okay, and they just did like a 2-minute doodle. And actually in one of the earlier videos, Motor City FurCon 2017, there's a highlight reel that I got there. That's the one where I'm like in like Attack on Titan gear and with the cape and everything. And that person drew me like with the cape and everything. Freaking adorable. Absolutely loved it. I don't have a scan of it, again, because I have it printed, but it's actually sitting on the wall over here. That was 2017. Midwest Fur Fest 2017. I actually brought my parents out to that, and they actually got to like kind of like see me like officially of like, I'm a furry, this is what we do, this is our con. They got to see it, and from there they were like, 100%, we're behind you on this. You know, we support you, everything. Loved it. It was fantastic. Because my parents know this and they get behind it. 2018, I think I was normal attendance that year. Last year. Yeah, I was normal attendance in 2018. Nothing immediately comes to mind. 2018 Motor Midwest Fur Fest. Nothing immediately comes to mind again. Oh no, 2018. 2018 was, I think that was, yeah. 2018, that was when I met Telephone. I got to meet, what's his name? Renegade Kangaroo. I got to meet Pokari over from Australia. They came over. I got to meet, oh God, I'm blanking out. God! Yeah, I met all of them out there. 2019 Motor City Fur Con was first year as staff. That was the first year that I did my interview panel live, where I got to interview the artist who did my first badge, which is actually the icon right here. I actually also got to interview Boozy Badger. That's live. The audio is a little messed up because I couldn't test run it beforehand. So that's interesting. But that's live up there on the channel. And then Midwest Fur Fest last year. The one thing that kind of comes to mind for me is that I was actually kind of able to be myself. I was out of suit a good chunk of the time, so I kind of dressed more non-binary and more androgynous along the lines of like how I identify. That was very freeing. And then we're in 2020 and nothing's happened yet. Long answer to your simple question. Favorite room party? I don't know. I don't know. I've been to a handful of room parties, but there's the one that like immediately jumps out at me. It's just like, this was an awesome party. It was just like, yeah, it was a party. I had fun. Nothing immediately jumps out. Yeah, Brooklyn's commenting about my paws and how big they are. They're absolute units. So I'll back up so you guys can see it a bit. So my 1 foot here, it's got four toes on it. It's got 4 toes on it. One of those toes is my foot. There's 4 of those things. It is, I'm like trying to, the foot's about this big. It's about as big as my head. Huge! But it doesn't, what's weird though is that it doesn't look odd because I'm 6'2". The suit, thighs and everything are big. The feet don't look completely like out of whack. So it kind of worked on accident. Yeah, okay, there's the one. Luna, your comment of best dancer you've seen live. Easily, it's a toss-up between Tara and Tyson. Tyson actually does gaming with me on Fridays periodically. Tara, who's been in the chat, he was actually the first dancer. Actually, I think it might have been Tara and Tyson. I saw both of them actually at Motor City FurCon 2016 before I had my costume. And Tara's was, oh my God, Tara, you did great. I loved it. You won and deserved it, 100%. You did amazing. Easily Tara for that one. Oh my God. Brooklyn. Mentioning dancing, Shane's standout from the Goofy movie has never been in a dance game. Okay, so when I was a kid, I loved that movie, but what was that? I think it was like last year or something like that. Last year, I was blasting that lately in my car because oddly enough, there's a rock cover version of it done by a YouTuber. His name is, no, was it Cole Rowland? No. Jonathan Young. Some of you might know him. Again, that was Jonathan Young. He does a lot of rock covers. He's done Disney stuff. He's done other like rock covers of rock music. Just puts his own little spin on it. He's actually pretty good. Some of you know him. Some of you aren't a fan of him. That's fine. But he actually does a rock cover of Stand Out. It's not that bad, but I was listening to the original like on a loop last year, and it's just so good. So good. I love it. It's a very uplifting song, in full transparency. Absolutely uplifting song. I love it. It's one of those things where it's just like, I'm gonna go out on the club tonight. Yeah, I'm gonna listen to that. Listen to some Disney music. I'm gonna listen to Disney music to hype myself up. Arna, I could actually answer that question for you. Well, kind of. I personally have not been able to measure it. However, there is a YouTube series called, I think it's like Inside the Life of a Furry, or Inside the Mind of a Furry. It's a 3-part series, like 15 minutes a piece. It's like 40 minutes tops. I'll see if I can find it. Oh, Inside Look, maybe? The furry fandom? They actually interview Kage, Uncle Kage. They actually interview other like random members of the furry community to get like their take on being in the furry community. But one of the things that Kage mentions in that interview is that because there's a good chunk of us that are like engineers or otherwise like technologically savvy or programming, and someone actually took like electronic thermometer, put it inside the head, and over the course of 90 seconds they found out that it gets to about 120 degrees inside the head alone. So yeah, it gets really hot really quick. Never been in Fursuit. Has anyone measured how hot? I got to meet Dan TDM in person nearly 3 years ago. I do not know who Dan TDM is. It's not ringing a bell. Yeah, Brooklyn, going back to the feet. Yeah, the size does work. Looks more like a real wolf. Oh my God, thank you. Oh my God, that makes me happy. I'm happy about that because I made this all myself. It's a complete foam, and actually there's very early pictures. If you really want to trip, go on to Facebook. If you do a search, it's like Sigma Fursuit. It's an old Facebook profile back in like 2016 or something that I made, where it was supposed to be that was supposed to be like the Sigma, the wolf profile of like messaging me and everything, because I didn't do the group thing yet. And Facebook locked it down because I lost the password and tried to get access. And they wanted to see, they're just like, we want to verify it's you and compare like your face to like photos that are on the profile. Well, there wasn't any because I kept my face separated from the suit. So you weren't gonna see it. They would not hear from me, and it got locked down. But the entire part of the making process of Sigma is on that profile. So it's a little bit of a trip, but you can actually see those photos online if you wanted to. Any thoughts on why VR chat is so popular lately? Memes. That's why. At least in regards to furries, I can guess in terms of like you can actually like make your persona. But if you know the meme of like, do you know TheWolf? That whole like Ugandan Knuckles meme, that started in VR chat. That all started there. So you could. It's kind of why that's starting to pick up. But I imagine it's picking up even more because of the COVID isolation thing. Because you can't go outside. Can't go outside. Can't really socially interact with people. So this is kind of bridging that gap of like, I can't physically be with you there, but this is like a really close like second alternative because I can be there via avatar, and it kind of works. Sorry, I was catching up in the chat. I'm not like spacing out. I'm like, it was a long comment from Brooklyn talking about the Goofy movie and Eye to Eye. Eye to Eye is pretty good. I really wish there was a full, like a legitimate, full version of I wish there was a full version of Stand Out. Super good. So when are we going to get Linus Tech Tips to liquid cool a fursuit? You know what? Oddly enough, I've actually looked into trying to do that myself. And there's some people that I think have done it. I will say probably one of the best things that I've seen in terms of like cooling a suit. Someone had their chest, it was a slightly bigger. It's actually in my one of my videos. I think they were like a black and dark red like saber tooth. They actually had like a motor vest something in the chest that like vibrated. So like when you hugged them, they were like purring. Super cool. Same suit though, on the back, in the spine, they actually had like it's like if you took a video graphics card, but took out the graphics card. So they just had a bunch of fans there and a box setup that was constantly running and blowing cold air on their spine. Super cool. I would love to do that. No, Blaze, I saw the comment that you have in there. Blaze, if you need to peace out and focus on that, please do it. I will still be here. They might not. Focus on them if you need to. Like, if you're able to physically go there, just stay in touch, do that if you need to. Seriously, I will still be here. Whether it's going to be now, 30 minutes from now, or later in the night at like 9 p.m. over here, I will be gaming. I will still be here. If you need to, leave, go take care of family stuff. Please, do it. I will not take offense. Oh, I want to sit down, but I got a hard wooden chair here, and it doesn't allow the bottom half of my body to breathe. Oh, I am so happy that I got to do this. God, it's been so long since I've been in suit. And it's interesting. So actually, no, this is something that I've actually wanted to address for the longest time. So regarding the suit, to clarify, when I've set up the GoPro, like you'll actually see it in some of the photos. Like right now, obviously, I have the GoPro on. But with the GoPro, I actually mount it like right, I could feel the ears, it's like right here. I mount it right in between the ears. So you can actually, like it'll be from like my point of view. So if someone calls me, if it otherwise was on my chest, be like, Sigma, the camera's still pointing that way. So when I put it on my head, if someone goes, Sigma, whoop, I could actually, like you can see it somewhat from my point of view. To clarify, for anyone that's watching that has ever wondered, if you don't have a fursuit, or you do, or you want to know what my vision is like in here, if you watch any of my videos, you can see like the top segment of my nose. That is my blind spot, 100%. So my field of vision, I'm like trying to think like, if I'm gonna look down, so like you can see it from like a bird's eye view. That's my field of view, side to side. So it's not bad, you know, outward-wise. It's not a bad field of view. Vertically, I'm kind of screwed. I'm going from my hand here, making sure you can see it. So like that's where the top of my claw is. Same eye. That's where the bottom of my claw is. So it's not terrible, but it's not much better. The center, my snoot, and because of the bridge of the nose, that is a dead zone. That dead zone is here. It's absolutely right here. Like the edges of my fingers, on the outside edges of my fingers there, I can't see squat. I can't see them. I am just now able to see the edges of the fur. Fairly tunnel vision. So if I'm going to go down below so you can see it top down, I am now seeing the outside edges of my hands. Oh, let me back up more. Yeah. You know what? We'll go from the tips of the claws. There. From the tips of the claws on my fingers here, that's my dead zone. I have a huge dead zone, dead center. So even though I'm looking like right now, like the snoot is facing the camera, I can't see it. I cannot see the camera. I do this, I can now see the camera. I do this, I can see the camera. I have a dead zone. So anytime if you've ever seen me walk in costume, I'm constantly doing this. It's because I'm sweeping to take out that dead zone in the center, but also kind of getting us a little bit of a bigger field of view. Thank you, Blaze, for understanding the streaming restrictions that I put on the channel in that regard. But that's my field of view in terms of the suit. So if you ever watch one of my channels and you can see like the edges of my my nose, that's pretty much my dead zone. Like my dead zone like area is this, like straight out, like it's dead. So I've always wanted to clarify that for someone in terms of like, what's my field of vision like? That's what it is. Oh. God, I love this. It is, we've been going on for 2 hours, 50 minutes-ish. I know I took about like 10 minutes or so to actually like get started because YouTube was not behaving at all. It was not behaving at all. It was like, you want to stream? Well, we can't do it. Why you like this? No, I'm going to give this another 10 minutes. And then I'm actually going to call the stream. I'm going to call it ends. I want to get food in me. I need to cool off. I need to get ready for the stream tonight. I need to chill a little bit myself. My God, this angle like right here makes it look like I'm ditzy because this eye and the shadow from the light. I back up and everything's fine. Oh, that's right. Yeah, Arna, I see your comment in there. You get too hot in 80-degree weather. The last video that I posted was like a 10-minute like highlight reel. That was actually Monday, Memorial Day over here, and I was just outside my apartment complex, and I was outside my apartment complex. My neighbors know that I do this, which, whatever now. But they said they had like 14 grandkids, and they said it's like, yeah, if you see us out there again, go ahead and like come and say hi. I'm like, yes, yes. Okay, like I could do this now. I could do this on a more semi-regular basis. But need to cool off, need to get ready, and sorry, getting winded there. But I need to get ready. I need to cool the suit off. I need to cool down. I need to get ready for that. But I absolutely love this. This was fun to do. So again, I'm going to give this in about another 10 minutes or so. So if you have any other questions, throw it in the chat. I'll answer it. If I miss your question, throw it in the curiouscat.me link down below. That link will go ahead and allow you to ask the question. It'll allow you to ask it anonymously. And you do not need a profile. No need to sign up. Just like go on there. We'll ask you to do it anonymously. You can ask me the question. That way next Friday or the next time that I do this, I'll have a stack of questions there and I can answer your questions. But I'll try to get through as much as I can on here before I call this. And again, you got 10 minutes. Oh, yeah, that's right. That's what I was talking about, the neighbors. Sorry. Jogged my memory again, aren't I, actually? So regarding the neighbors next door, I actually had it tagged in the video itself. It was like 85 degrees out. Like 10 minutes, I was dying. I was absolutely dying in costume. I was like, I can't. Like I was like borderline panting. Like the reason why I was sitting on the bench so fast in the video, and that was like maybe 5 minutes after being out, like 2 minutes after being outside, is because it was 85-degree weather, like no wind, and it was sunny out, so I had like no shade whatsoever. So I was dying very quick. Oh, yay, thank you, Blaze. Blaze has it mentioned on there, and I've said this before in the past. If anyone wants to do fan art of me, you can go ahead and do that. The best way to get it to me is to @ me directly on Twitter. I can then copy the image, and I can throw it on the slideshow that I had over here, like I had in the opening credits below, or the the opening title card below and what I was cutting to periodically. I could easily have it there if you want to do fan art. Not saying you have to, just saying if you want to, there you go. That's how you do it. Yeah, no, I'm glad that you guys got to enjoy the stream. It is Fursuit Friday. We'll technically get a little bit more traction because of it, but I wanted to go ahead and I needed to get back in suit after having that experience of being in the suit again for Memorial Day because there was kids out there that really scratched the itch of like, I need to get back out in this. I need to get back out in suit. So it kind of started that. It's kind of how all this started back up. Let's see, I'm checking on the timer real quick. Let's do it a little closer. About 5 more minutes. I'm going to double check to make sure I didn't miss any questions that I had before. I don't think I did. Okay, doing those with pause on is near impossible. I don't think I missed the question. I don't think I did. Oh. But yeah, I will say, next Friday, I'm going to do that furry mystery box, which, nope, this one. This one. You can actually still hear there's stuff in here. I have not opened it. This will be next Friday. It'll be this one, and then whenever the next box comes in, that'll be the last one until the lockdown stuff happens. I could get back on the subscription. You know, if you've got the money and you can, it's not a bad price, honestly. It's like $35 with shipping. Sends you a ton of stuff. It's really good. Again, this is not sponsored. I like the content. But it's $35, but it's like 35 like every 3 months or so. So it's like every quarter. And it's that much, so it breaks down to about like $10 a month. But you're not getting slammed with so much if you actually were to get a box every month. So I personally like that setup because of it, but I have to be careful of my bills. I need to make sure I can, you know, keep my head above water in terms of bills and money. So it'll be that box whenever the second box comes in, and then that'll all I'll be able to do on that. But next Friday for sure, it is going to be that box, 100%. But I wanted to be in person, kind of chat with you guys on this Fursuit Friday there. And what is it? So Arna, if you've ever heard of like Loot Crate or any of those like subscription box services where it's like you pay like $10 a month, they send you a box with a bunch of like swag and gear and like trinkets and stuff. It's that, but furry stuff. Strictly furry stuff. Furry like t-shirts, pins. Actually, do I have any of that still right here? Trying to, oh, that's right. Okay, so, the camera can't see it. I will mess with it. In one of the boxes, this. It's a neckerchief. That was in one of the boxes. Straight up, just, it's nothing but furry stuff in the boxes. This was in one. This hat here, this winter hat, this was also in one of those boxes. They gave you a ton of pins. There's always an art print, usually like a postcard or something. It's pretty much it's a Loot Crate sort of a thing of like $10 a month. It's 30 something every quarter, but you get nothing but just strictly furry stuff. T-shirt, an art print, pins, usually a keychain or a lanyard. One year they actually just, one box they actually just straight up, they gave you a board game. They gave you a board, or card game, but they gave you a game. Yeah, I actually just got the email like this morning saying like, we're sending it out, but that's gonna be my last one. At least for a while. I'm happy to hear that you've been in here that this was the stream you were in the longest ever. But yeah, hopefully it's not going to be 3 hours next time. But I really enjoyed this. I hope you guys did too. Next week, maybe 2 hours, hopefully only 2 hours. I'm going to do the furry mystery box, and there'll be some more hangout stuff like we did right here. But with that said, I'm going to check on the timer. Yeah, I'm just at about 3 hours here. So with that said, I'm actually going to turn the lights off so I can not have too much white balance. Ah! Go, no, go away. Go away. Ah! Oh, yeah, you're definitely not getting as much light feedback. I'm going to note that for next time. I don't know why, but like this seems a little bit better. But thank you all so much for being here. I greatly appreciate it. I don't have the stats in front of me. I have no idea how many people are in here. I want to say maybe it might have been 7 at tops, maybe 10. I don't know. Hopefully you guys all enjoyed it. I will see you guys either tonight at 9 o'clock. So it should be in about 6 hours. That's going to be my like horror thriller gaming stream with Time Twister. If you're not there for that, next Fursuit Friday, literally next week, I will be doing that furry mystery box. I will be in suit, and I will see you guys all out there. Seriously, guys, thank you so much for being here. Hopefully this helped you as much as it has helped me having some sort of an interaction with you guys. But thank you so much. I will see you guys in the next video. I'll miss you all. Bye.